Hello everyone, my name's Joe Carey, for those of you who have not met already, and I'm part of the Skills for Learning team here at the library. So I'm just going to make a short video now to cover the basic skills you will need to make the most of the library and hopefully do well in your assignments. I know it's a difficult time at the moment with everybody working from home, but the library is very much still here to support you. Even if all of our resources are now online, we can still help you with your assignments. So, first things first, where do we go for access to our resources? The place that we're going to focus on today is the library catalogue, which is that top link there. We also have more specialist subject databases, which we won't go into today, but I would encourage you to have a little look around. They are basically more search engines, a lot like our library catalogue, but with different resources. So if I click on here, we're taken through to the University Library homepage. Now, I've got a link that I will share with you, as you've just seen, but you can also just Google Wolverhampton Uni Library and it will come up pretty quickly. There's lots of information here, including library news, but what I'm going to be focusing on today is, as I say, the library catalogue. So for this, you just click on the yellow box here, and this is our search engine. Okay, so I appreciate some of you will already know this, but just to clarify, this is where you can search to access literally millions of online resources. It's a really fantastic database for you to use, and it is something that we are constantly adding to, constantly negotiating with lecturers to add resources to. So it really is the best place to begin your research. It's not the only place. You can use the internet, of course, as well, but it is the most comprehensive place to start. So if we have, pardon me, so if we have started with the library catalogue, what do we actually search for in that catalogue? So the first thing that you really want to do if you're faced with a question like this is break it down. So this question here, discuss issues around gender in relation to business leadership. Obviously this is quite a short question, you will probably have a longer one, but the principle is still the same. You want to break down the question into key words. Please don't search a question or a whole sentence in the library catalogue because it won't like it. So in this case, we've got this question and we want to think about the words that are most relevant to what we're searching for, what we want to find. So we're probably going to ignore words like discuss, around, and obviously in and to, probably relation as well, which would leave us with a few key words: gender, business, leadership, and possibly issues as well. Okay, you might not use all four of these at the same time. You might use 3 or 2 at once, but these are the main subjects of your question. Okay, so that's the first step when you're approached with an assignment question and you want to find research for it. But what do we do to actually search these? So what I'm going to show you now, if we come back into the catalogue, is if we search gender, business, leadership. I'm just going to use 3 for now because it's always a good idea to start general and then specialise later on if you need to. But if we search this, I just press enter. So we've got some results here. We've actually got almost 120,000, which is quite a lot. Okay, so you're probably not going to read 120,000 results. I mean, I might be wrong, but I would be very surprised. So what we would like to do is really get these results a little bit lower, a little bit more focused. Okay, I do think that some good stuff has come up. You can see from the yellow underline where words that we've searched for are in the text themselves, but still we have no idea which of these 120,000 are going to be the most relevant to us. One thing you can do is just filter your results, and on the left here, so you can filter by available online, which is probably a good idea seeing as the library building is currently closed. Date is always a useful one. I mean, at the moment we've got things from 1900, which probably isn't going to be relevant to us, so we could apply that. But we've still got 68,000 results. Okay, so this is a good place to start, but you might want to focus your search a little bit more, which brings us back to our next point. Pardon me, it's just frozen. But before we move on just quite to how we focus our points, I just wanted to briefly mention that it's worth thinking about alternative terms, okay? So what I mean by that is that a word like gender or issues or leadership might have what we call synonyms, so other words that mean a very similar thing. So with gender, for instance, we've got sex or sexism, we've got femininity, masculinity. These kind of things you might already be thinking about and be looking for, but not necessarily put into your search terms. So it's worth remembering that so that you can have a range of different search terms and try and see which one is most effective. Issues could be problems or challenges. And leadership, do we mean management? Do we mean director or directors, directorship? Are we talking about CEOs here? It's just worth taking 5-10 minutes to think about that. And actually in some assignments, you will be asked to detail your methodology, which can include what you searched for and why. So it's not just useful in terms of saving time for you and getting the most research, but in some assignments it is actually a part of the criteria to get a good mark. But we won't linger on this for too long today. One thing that I really want to give you, there are a few different ways that you can focus your search strategy, but I just want to share with you a couple of them today. And these are the and or a not functions, and then phrase searching. Okay, so what I mean here for and is, as you can see in this example, we've got business and leadership and then gender or sexism. So by including this capital and it has to be capital letters, that's worth remembering. What we ask the library search the catalogue to do is only bring us results which include both of those terms. Okay, so at the moment, if we just search business leadership, then it might bring back something with business, it might bring back something with leadership, but this means with this and that everything has both. Okay, the or, you might have guessed that already, but just to clarify, the or asks the catalogue to bring back one or the other. So at the moment we've got business and leadership and either gender or sexism. So I've included an alternative term there. Okay, and that's because I don't really know, this is just a general search, I don't really know what I'm looking for yet, and I want to keep it fairly broad still, but focus it a little bit. Okay, phrase searching is something that's not included in this example, but I'll just show you. If we wanted to include business leadership as a phrase, we include those two quotation marks, okay? And what this does is treat this as a whole term. So the search catalogue is not going to bring back just business or just leadership. It's going to bring back business leadership, okay? You might have business management. Anything that is not just one word and really is treated as a phrase in the literature, you can use this phrase searching for, okay? So let's have a look then at our catalogue and let's try searching again. So at the moment we've got gender, business, leadership. I'm going to copy and paste this. And then search. So we've gone down to 167 results, which is much more manageable. Okay, and if we look through here, we can see quite a lot of yellow, which is good. However, one other tip I would give you is to think about advanced searching. Okay, because at the moment, the library catalogue is bringing back these words, but anywhere in the text. So for all we know, it could just be in the references at the back of this book, or it could be on one of the last pages, or it could only be mentioned once in the book. Okay, so if we go to advanced search, I won't go into all the details of this right now because this is meant to be a short video, but one really useful thing that I like to think about is changing the field. Okay, so at the moment, business leadership and gender or sexism is being searched in anywhere in that text, as I just said. Okay, but what we can do is change it to just the title. So if these terms are coming back in the title of a text, you can be pretty sure that that result is going to be relevant to your search. Okay, it's going to be relevant to your assignment. So if we then click search here, careful not to go to simple search because that takes you back to where we were a minute ago. If we search this, and now we've just got 13 results. Okay, now I've just thought of these words. I'm not a business expert, so these results might still not be what I'm after, but at least I only have 13, and at least they all have the terms I've searched for in the title. Okay, so it's going to be a much more manageable process, and you could read through most of these probably if they were all relevant to you. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to, sorry about that. I'm just going to come back here. So I would encourage you now to have a look at your assignment and maybe pick out some keywords and just try playing around with the AND function, the OR function, and maybe some phrase searching as well, if it's relevant and if you have phrases to search. Just one more point about this. I've included these brackets, not because I have to, but just because it becomes quite confusing for me if I don't. Because if I don't have these, just to come out again, it could be business leadership and gender or sexism, or it could be business leadership and gender or sexism. So just a point there, it's a little bit like algebra, right? And then one last point about finding resources is just a reminder that you will have a reading list in your module, and that is a list of texts that your lecturer or tutor has picked out for you. So this is always a good place to start as well. And just to note, that is the option on the Canvas module page where you will find it. So that was it from me, just a few of the basics of how to get started and use the library best for your assignments. But if you have any further questions, as I've said at the beginning of this presentation, we are still available to support you online. Okay, so we're available Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 5 and 10:30 till 2 on Saturdays. And you can get in touch with us at skills@wlv.ac.uk. Okay, so that is our skills mailbox. And what we will do once you email us is we will arrange to have a one-to-one with you over Canvas. You don't have to go on video, you don't even have to go on mic, you can just message us, but we will be available for you, kind of like Skype. Okay. The other place that you can ask for support, which isn't skill specific, it's more library general stuff, is Assist. And this is a really fantastic feature, it's a live chat. I'll just open this up for you so you can see how to access it. So when you go to the library webpage, it will just be on the right here. Okay, so this is an instant messenger that you can use at any time. Okay, we staff it 9 till 5 Monday to Saturday and 10 till 5 on Sundays at the moment. Okay, but even if we are not staffing it, when you message us, it will be passed to us straight away the next morning and we will answer you by email. Okay, so that is something you can use maybe if you are doing some research and there's a broken link or you're not able to get to a book that you need. That is a great place to make a request. Okay. And then finally, we do still have, as well as our one-to-ones, our workshops are continuing to run online. These can be booked just as they were booked before, but I'll just show you on the Skills for Learning page. So if you scroll down here, you can see we've got online skills support if you book online. And we've got a number of workshops. Okay. So that's it from me. But as I say, please do get in touch if you have any inquiries, any sort of support that you'd like in terms of your assessment, whether that's academic writing, structuring your assignment, more details on research that we've talked about today, referencing, all of that we can help with. If you do book a workshop or get in touch with us by email, we will give you full details on how to get access to us on Canvas and how the support will work and what you have to do beforehand. It's very easy, I promise. Okay, but my main point here is that we are still here. In spite of all the weirdness that's going on in the world, we do still want you to do your best in your assignment, so please do get in touch. Okay, thank you very much and see you soon, hopefully.